Hello everybody, and good morning or good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Charlie Keenan, I'm the funnel mechanic. I help businesses generate leads from traffic sent to online landing pages. Now, I want to talk to you about GDPR today, which is quite an unusual subject for me to talk about, but it's in respect of web marketing. Google Analytics Google has released an email to a lot of businesses talking about their data retention policy under GDPR. They're now introducing it, 25th May, key date for many businesses to understand what they should be doing. So I'm going to run a video I've made that shows you what you need to think about. Now, if you don't do Google Analytics and your webmaster do it, then I'd still watch this video because it tells you some of the considerations you need to talk to them about. If you do it yourself, this shows you how you too can go and change your data retention policy on Google Analytics. So let me run this video for you. Hello there. I am just going to quickly do a video about Google and a recent email I got regarding their analytical codes and the changes they're making in respect of GDPR. Now, GDPR is a bit of legislation, for those that aren't aware of it, that impacts every EU citizen. Now, if you run a website or a business and you've got customers that are EU citizens, you do need to know this. Most of the EU businesses are aware of this and will need to are taking action in respect of this. But if you're based out the EU and you have EU citizens, then you do also need to have a look at this as well. Now, Google is implementing these changes in respect of GDPR for businesses and their data retention that they capture through any cookies that you use through the Google Analytic tool set. This email came out yesterday for me. I know others have received it prior to this, but I just wanted to quickly show you how you can go and make the changes that you need to do in order that you can be compliant. Now, what Google will do, as they say on here, is they'll automatically make a decision for you. But if you want to have a look at it and make a different decision to what they're choosing, then you need to follow this video. If you don't do this yourself, you've got a webmaster who looks at this, then go and have a chat with them about what they think that the best one would be and what they're going to set it for you so that you can understand the implications of it. And I'm just going to cover the two areas I think that might be relevant for you and where you may want decisions. Now, before anybody asks, I am not a GDPR expert. I am picking this up from knowledge that I'm reading constantly. As a web marketer, I need to have people understand what the implications of GDPR is on the marketing strategies that we implement for our businesses. In this particular case, what I'm looking at are two aspects. You as a web page, what the implication is, and then the other part that Google has now introduced or has been doing for a fair bit of time, but probably most businesses aren't aware, is their audience behaviour that they capture as a result of this, their Google Analytic code that's on every website that implements it. Let's just go through how you can look at the settings. I will try and help you understand what the implications are, but I'm not an expert and you may need to talk to your webmaster to understand how you're using Google Analytics for your analysis and marketing. It's quite a comprehensive email, and if you take time you can have a look at it through this video. Let's go and have a look of what this means. So I went and had a look at the data retention information, and this covers what they're going to do. So it's the user and event data. Now, an event might be click through onto this link, move to this page, do a contact form, things like that. What they're going to do is that for all of your data, they are going to delete the information automatically, and they give you these periods that you can choose from. And they give you obviously the option not to expire. Now, what you need to do is to look through all of this information and make sure whether that makes relevancy to you and your business and why you're doing it. And I'm going to explain where I think you need to just have a think, but maybe just accept what Google is saying for your website. So if you go to your analytics page, and if you go down to the admin area, you now have what they call the or columns they call it, and you want to come down the create property column and down to the tracking information. Now what that will do is, this is where the data retention is, but let me just talk about what Google Analytics information is all about. We had a look at our home page a minute ago on this website, and this has a lot of information about your visitors when they come to your website, what they're looking at, what the sources of information is, who's actually active on your website. I've had somebody recently been active on the website. They tell you where the countries are, etc. The other bit of information that is pertinent is the behaviour side of things, and you can now get reports on what your users are doing. And they've got all of these reports down here. Now this is talking about demographics, interests, behaviour, technology, mobile, custom. You can do a lot of stuff here. If you're not using this, then you probably want to think about using the default settings that Google put in there. But if you are using it, you need to go and think about the strategy that you want to do for your particular business and your marketing. So let's just have a quick look about what the changes are. So you click on the tracking information, you go to data retention, and data retention shows you what they automatically are going to do for you. So you can drop down and choose which one's going to be relevant. I'm just going to leave it at 26 months at the moment. You then just press save, and that is then what is held. Now if you come back and change it at another time, so if you reduce it, then it will take it the next month's clearing out. They do it monthly, they clear out the data. They will clear everything that's over 26 months out of this data retention information. And why is this important? Well, because an IP address can identify somebody, it is classed as personal information, they have the right for that to be deleted. So this is the way that they're doing it, and you, as long as you've got a reason to hold that data, then you're okay to do it, but you've got to be careful about holding it too long in the policies that you are using for your website and why you want to retain that information. So for a website, you may not need to hold all that information, because all you're looking at is what the bounce rate is. You can download the information, the overall statistics, so you've got a record of it, and then you can then run it forward to see what it is. So that's a valid reason, because you want to see what is working, what isn't working, and as long as you're got a retention policy that says that, then that is adequate, and you need to put that onto your website, but that's a whole other subject. So that's the data retention. Hope that's been useful for you. So that video was just a short explanation. You should, if you are your own responsibility for doing your Google Analytics, take a look at that, make a decision. If not, talk to your webmaster. Now, I'm not an expert, as I said in the video. You should have talked to somebody to make sure that your understanding matches mine, but that's what I believe is that you can, but you should only, really should only from a retention policy for as long as it's necessary, and that's to give you the average over a period for the retention. If you're doing the behaviour side, then you need to have a look at that and what that means to you, and the reasons why you're doing that, why people are buying, etc., where they're buying from. So that's the data retention from Google. Thank you very much.